Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Middle-Aged Gamer and I want to start this video off by saying thank you very much for all your support. You guys have been so humbling and amazing. It's just over the moon. I hope that you all continue to enjoy my content, and any new subscribers that come after this video is launched, again, thank you in advance. It's always encouraged to like, comment and subscribe because this channel is for you guys, whether it's about video games or airsoft, or basically middle-aged stuff, whatever you want to call it, you know, man-child stuff. I'm all down for that. Now in today's video we're going to take a look at a HK gun, as you can tell by the box, and yes, it's OEM by KWA. They were not the only ones who manufacture this type of pistol. There are 9mm variants manufactured by Tokyo Marui and by VSC in the most recent of years. But to be honest, this is KWA's swan song to it. And like I say, they only manufacture a handful every year, and it's usually for the Asian market. Here in the UK, we tend to get screwed over by that for various reasons and so on. But you do find the standard edition here in the UK, just not the tactical so much. I do believe also this is more in the rare side, equal to the USP match as well. But whereas the match is basically because it's very hot on green gas, you know, the USP, like I say, is slightly pokey, but it's not like how'd you say? You can't use it, if you know what I mean. It's certainly usable, which we'll get to in the chrono results. Now, like I say, let's open this up and have a look. This is basically what what Mark 23 should have been. They actually even pitched this gun in the real steel world to the military people when they were presenting the version 3 of the third Mark 23 before its adoption. And they just turned around and said, no, you're all right. We still want a separate ambi decocker and all this. Or a separate decocker and ambi, what's it called, separately. It's just silly. It confuses even the most sane of minds today. So let's have a look at this. Now, as you open it up, you're greeted with the instruction manual. And as you can see here, these are all the ones that KWA make. They make the compact, although that's now been discontinued, I think. It's VSC that made the most recent variant of that, if I remember rightly, in the 45, the newer. But this one is now gone. They do the standard, the match, the tactical, and the HK 45. Now, like I say, I've just blown away by the level of quality that this gun has. And again, and you're not talking expensive either. It's in usual multilingual instruction manual. Pop that off to the side. You get your USP magazine. You get a trigger locking key, which is great. A hop adjustment tool. This one's on the System 7, I believe it is. Next generation of that hop system, which is quite nice. And as you can see, a bag of PBs and your magazine. Okay, so let's pull this one out and let's have a look at it. Okay, we'll get the monkey out of the room, as they say, or the elephant out of the room. That is a King Arms rail adapter that I got from Fire Support. It fits this really good, and you can still see the actual serial number underneath, so that's kind of cool. I got it in tan because, as you can see, a bit of black and tan, it just accents the gun, whereas all black, it's fine. I believe they do it in olive drab as well. Now, as for size, I owned the Tokyo Marui 9mm variant, and that was just too small. It felt like a compact because my pinky finger would be literally hanging off the bottom of the mag. It would end like here, and as you can see, my little finger there, it was really tiny. Kick, recoil, amazing, but anyone with medium to large size hands would find it a very compact grip frame to hold. Now, as you can see, with this, you've got your decocker and safe, so it's up for safe, down for fire, down again for decock. You get your slide stop, release, trigger, hammer. You have a fully adjustable target sights, which are really good for accuracy. They're adjustable for windage and elevation. Okay, on the other side, you've got your ambi, decocker, and safe. Yeah, and obviously your other markings. Now we'll start with the markings on the left side, which is HK USP, and you've got your HK USP Tactical and 45 Auto, which is awesome. And then as we go back round, you have your, so we can get in, there it is. You got your HK 45 Auto, your serial number which matches on there, USP again on the bottom there. And I believe there's the only bit of legal issue for the, international market, and that's the 6mm caliber and the F proof marking. State that it's passed. On the front, it's very faint. I don't know if I can pick it up, but oh, there you go. License trademark of Heckler and Koch manufacturers, just laser engraved in there. That's just so light, but it's fine. You've got your extractor there with the nice red showing it's cocked, even though it's not. Now, towards the front, as you see, you got your suppressor height sights and a 16mm clockwise thread. Okay, it will fit any suppressors that Tokyo Marui have done, or any of the Umarex or HK suppressors, whatever you want to call it. Now, with that said, let's have a look at the mag in, and I'll show you how big. You can see here, the gun is clear. There is no magazine or BBs in the mag, so we can click that through. And as you can see, now with this safety, you've got, like I say, up for safe, but you can click down and you can put it into a decocked state. Now, if you notice, the hammer doesn't go all the way forward. That's basically to allow you to, if I hold that there, I'll move my finger, so you can pull the trigger, but you can find that you've got a lot of take up now because half of it's taken out. So it's more of a 1.5 to single action. So you'd hit that, lock it back, and then you'll have your reset. But there you can hear a nice tactile reset, and obviously away you go. And if you don't want to shoot, just cock it, hold it on safe, and your trigger is locked. It's quite nice. So with that said, let's take this gun and chrono it, and let's discuss afterwards. Okay, I'm using 0.2 gram BBs and green gas. Let's see what FPS we get on a full mag. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, didn't register. There we go. Okay, so it's a little pokey in 22, 23 degrees indoors, but let's see what it's like at range and accuracy. Let's take it back. Okay, so let's take it to the table and discuss. Okay, so we're back now after that awesome, results. As you can see, it's a bit pokey on the FPS with a high of, 360 FPS on your first shot. That's usually with a fully compressed magazine. If you fire off the first 6 rounds, you'll bring it under your sight legal limit here in the UK of 350, and it'll be fine from thereafter. So my advice is just fire your first few shots of each mag, top it back off before you go into each game, or don't fill it completely. It's entirely up to you. You're still going to get through about 2 magazines worth of BBs before you need to refill anyway, which is more than enough. Each magazine holds 26 rounds, if I remember rightly, and 1 in the chamber. And as we can see here from the accuracy, this is a 6-inch target, and as you can see, that's not bad. It's like what, 1.5 inch grouping at 15 meters. Today we're using the indoor chrono test due to the fact that outside it's howling gales and freezing cold, and I don't think it's fair to give this a shakedown like that. So let's have a look at the gun. So we'll make the gun into a safe state. So we'll take the magazine out, put that there, and we'll drop the slide after we know it's clear. We can decock it. Now, like I say, let's take this gun apart and I can discuss what changes they've made over the years and sort of like improvements I've seen. Okay, so if we just cock the hammer to make it a lot more easier, you pull it back, it's Browning style action, cross pin, pull that one out, drop that down, and you should be able to, there we go, unlock it. Now, as you can see, it's nicely well greased. It's in quite nice, used condition. I've had this gun for over a year. I think it was Christmas 2020 to New Year 2021 when I picked this one up. And to be honest with you, I've never regretted it at all. It's just been amazing. So one of the changes was the material of parts. As we've discussed in my John Wick video, you know, you don't need a steel slide. We're not asking for a steel slide. We're asking for just the parts need to be reinforced and strong to deal with it. And for that, let's have a look. Now the trigger on this is not metal. That's a die-cast part. The screw at the back is steel, so that's nice. The spring here for dropping the safety, the slide stop, that's steel. The cross pin for the trigger, steel. Okay. The main rail on the left side, not steel, but the transfer bar from the trigger is steel. Your sear here for your reset and hammer, all steel, all your linkages. The safety lever, steel, that's the whole lever on this side. This side is just polymer, it doesn't need, but the actual connection is. The hammer, steel. The sear in the middle, look. There you are, the actual striker is steel, which these are all parts that are going to get hit, smacked, you know. The reset bar there is not, because it doesn't need it. So as you can see from its shape, it's been shapen correctly. It doesn't need to be protruding and cause severe damage to your gun or your slide inside. So you'll find less wear when they're more like that. Okay, so if you drop that, reset the hammer, you can push down on that to reset it. Push down on that to set your transfer bar, and it's ready to go. Get your safety, all works, all that is steel. So that's great. The fire control important parts are steel. This also, like I say, being two modular parts, you have the modular front here and that. So if the frame ever does crack, you can purchase a new frame and just take everything out and put it all in. Just taking it, removing the two pins here and a screw there, and you'll be away you go. Okay, so we'll move that off to the side a second. Now, on your slide, it is a milled aluminum slide, which is really nice. It's not a die-cast one, so we get good. Let's take the thread protector off. Now, I've seen some with thread protector and some without. This one came with. Okay, now as you can see in there, you've got your nicely slide. None of the actual recesses where those sears are in are heavily worn, and that's for a reason, because like I say, they've really well designed it. Now this uses a cam lever, so you pull that pit up there, which releases your recoil guide rod and recoil springs. If I pull out my spring, steel, just a nice steel where it needs to be, longevity on your springs. If we pull forward on the hot chamber and nozzle, we can separate that, and we'll pull out the outer barrel. The outer barrel is just an aluminum outer barrel. It's nice metal, does what it does. And this is the thing, this has had more shots. It's like 9,000-10,000 shots through it. And as you can see, the only wear you see is to the black paint finish here on the locking part, which you would expect. It's fine, and the odd little bits of scrape where the recoil guide rod has been resting against this. You have your O-ring for a tight fit against the front of the gun, and it will always return it to 0, so it's good. And obviously, as I've put the thread protector on, it's taken some of the finish off there, but that's here and there. That is lovely condition for that. You have the KWA hot System 7 hot system, which is brilliant. The outer barrel is fine, it's nicely darkened. It's a tight bore barrel, so if I remember rightly, it's a 6.02 millimeter, if I'm right, which is nice for them, giving you the high accuracy in point. As you can see, the lovely slide is quite nice. Now, inside there is a aluminum piston and a 15 millimeter, I would say, piston head. So it's aircraft aluminum. That you have your milled housing for your blowback unit. The rear firing pin is actually spring loaded, and the hammer will hit. And unlike the the Armor Works John Wick, the EMG thing, no, the hammer itself, as you can see, bears absolutely no mark whatsoever. So it's really good that everything just seems to be like reliable. This is well oiled and lubricated, as I always seem to keep this one the best, you know. The screws and fastenings are all steel, like I say. That's common. This is aluminum, aluminum rail. But yeah, anything that needs to be is. So it's one of those that it really is a piece of kit that you could literally, you know, you'd love to take out with you every day. And you can with this. This runs quite well. In the winter time, you don't have to worry about firing off shots when you're in your sight, because chances are it's going to be cold, and that'll reduce your FPS anyway. All pistols, especially gas blowback ones, suffer from that. During the winter periods, their FPS drops around about 10 to 20 FPS. It's normal. AEGs don't suffer that because there's no gas or whatever, it's just normal air. So that's all fine. Now if we put the recoil back in, we find the hole, push that back, drop your cam lever back in, and then we just drop this into the pin, which is a lovely steel pin, very thick. Here we go. Oh, there we are. You have that locked on. Reassembly is quite simple. Just pop it on the rail here, put that through. We'll hold it there. This, by the way, is a cast aluminum, but it's perfectly fine because it does the job it needs to do. And yeah, so like I say, this gun is pretty awesome. I've been really satisfied with it. It's, like I say, held 0. It's been accurate as a, you know, a secondary sidearm. This is phenomenal, and you could actually perceivably go through and run it with, like I say, all the gear and the suppressor and that on there, and all the lights. Let's see if we can get that for you now. Okay, so let's take that thread suppressor. Oh, so we can get this all into frame. But as you can see, this gun looks phenomenal. And yes, cycles perfectly fine. Doesn't put any weight on the barrel, doesn't put any shock to it, and it just is great, you know. This is just awesome. So if you can get yourself one of these, definitely do. It's great for the collection. If you're a HK fan like myself, you'll love, like I say, what they produce and the durability. If you've had any problems with yours, please let me know in the comments. I'm always open to hear what other people think and have an experience. I'm a sample size of 1, and in over the year that I've owned this, now going on to 2 years, it's been a good, reliable pistol. It's run all year round. I've had no problems. All the parts are original. Never had to replace anything on this. And it costs approximately £150, I think they are now. Plus your shipping fees. That's about it. So if you have a Yukara, get one. It's my advice. As always, this has been the Middle Aged Gamer, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next one.